They're doing their job.
Yes, they are.
You have good guard dogs. How are you today?
Doing well. How can I help you guys?
Kayla, Linda. First of all, I just want to mention you have a beautiful garden.
Oh,
I
yes,
love
that's the
plants.
wife, yeah.
So that's, she's doing a
She does a
beautiful
very
job.
good job.
Yeah.
She does.
We're just briefly visiting the neighbors, offering for everyone to try a free interactive Bible study course with this brochure. And I wanted to ask if you've ever had a chance to study the Bible.
I have.
Oh, wonderful. What did you think of it?
It's a book, and,
Okay.
How do I put this nicely? Prayer. It's something we do, right? We ask for. Okay. May I ask, why we would proceed to request our God, higher power, who we agree knows all, sees all, does all, creates all, to consider our human perspective and ask Him to change His perspective, change His mind, if we are truly faithful that He knows, believes, and is. If we're like for example.
Okay, I'm trying to understand.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example. Okay?
Yeah, please.
Let's say your aunt has cancer, and you pray, and you say, please help my aunt with cancer. Please help her. Relieve her of pain, give her strength, give her this, give her that. You think this is the first time God knew of your aunt's cancer? Do you think this was why would that change? Because you decided that you had a perspective that you should ask your almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-creator to deviate from faith because of your request.
Almost like it was predestined to happen.
Well, either it's not even a predestining. It's if we agree that God knows all, creates all, is all, our prayers are just an exercise in futility because there's nothing that can be changed because, as you know, God already has decided. It's already there. God is doing what God knows better. And if your position is to say, hey, God, could you reconsider your thoughts? See, would you like to understand why one of the reasons is that evolution is so hard for you guys to understand or to grasp? See, like, when you think evolution, you go, well, we didn't evolve from apes. It's not a matter of coming from apes.
Oh, no, there's so many theories to evolution.
It's not a theory. We can observe it. For example, there is a creature. You see these little lizards running around, right? Okay. Well, in the Northwest, in Colorado, there's a creature called the skinks. Have you heard of the skinks before? It's a little creature like this, okay? And what happens is it migrated south, and then it migrated east and west. Now, as it went, it evolved, and you can take that version that went west or east and have it make the previous version, and it can make something. But it can't go. You can't take one that evolved that went east and one that went west and breed it. They evolved differently. They changed. They had different experiences, different life experiences, as it were, that required them to change. You've seen memes before, right? You know those things that they put on the internet with pictures and words? Okay? Those are called memes. And they originated from the term meme flexing. Okay? And what meme flexing is, it's an observation in nature to see how things evolved over time, like how plants had changed from one species and evolved over X, how they kept certain things, kept what works, changed what didn't, and moved on, made it something different, and that's what a meme is. Take what works, a clip, a movie, a word, a picture, and then add to it to make it something new. Okay? So with all these things that we've demonstrated, and this brings me to my point, the idea of evolution being a hard thing to accept or to say, hey, it's just a theory, is to say that if there's evolution, if there is species that go extinct, that fall out, that would make way for is that God made changes, God made a mistake, God moved on, and we cannot observe God's being without. God can't make mistakes. God doesn't make mistakes. So evolution must be a theory. But if God doesn't make mistakes, what are you praying for? What are you asking to change? God doesn't make mistakes.
Can I say something?
By all means.
What you just described, microevolution, completely agree with it, because, but it's still a plant. But yes, do things that evolve to adapt? Absolutely. Now, I can see you're someone who's a deep thinker, and I so appreciate that. A lot of times, could it be, are there questions that just don't seem to add up with the idea of there being a creator? For example, if God is almighty, why is the world the way it is? Why are things so bad? Why hasn't he intervened? And the Bible, when we dig into it with an open mind, does answer those questions. Are you a parent by chance?
Yes.
Okay. So I like to think of it, and I won't give you the answer. The Bible gives us the answer, but just to illustrate it, it's like your child when he needs, I don't know if he needs a shot for some reason. He's sick, you say come to the doctor, he needs a shot. Do you like to see him in pain getting that shot? No, but if you believe that it's going to help him, you hold his hand and help him endure that pain because you know it's for his own good. Now,
okay, I see where you're going, and I've heard this argument before. You see, unfortunately, I've had a lot of years of experience. I was born or raised in the Catholic Church. I received communion, received confirmation. I've gone through it all. I've did a lot of studying, not only
you've seen a lot in religion, huh?
But hold on, let me share with you. Now, in 2007, I kind of came across a realization of a fear I had. I felt weird talking about Jesus, talking about these things. It made me feel odd. And then I had this, I don't know if you have heard of Pascal's wager. Have you heard this before? Okay. He's a French philosopher, Blaise Pascal.
Okay.
And Blaise Pascal's philosophy was, if we are to believe in a God now, and truly believe and act accordingly, and then we pass, and we don't have a God, well, nothing lost. We still live as good people. But if you are to believe there is no God, and there isn't, then you suffer damnation. Okay? But unfortunately, you don't find out until the end. But the problem with that situation is, what if your choice to pay attention or worship this God turns out to be a different God that you were ignoring because you were misidentifying them? So I opened my ideas to the idea that, okay, perhaps there's too many gods to decide. How do you choose which one? Now look at all the choices that evolved over humanity. So then I began to consider, what did we do when we started, like, as we became, like, sentient? Like, when you see caves, what did we draw? What were we doing? Drawing, like, animals and people, right? And then we drew paintings of animals and people, tell stories about people, because stories are how we understand each other, okay? And through those stories, we learn. So we see technology evolving, we see things happening. And then I say, well, is it not possible then that all this is a variation of maybe even a simulation? There's so much stuff we have direct rules, like how do we find math? How do we find algorithms? There's too much stuff that makes precise, exact sense. If you were to cut me open and I was a ball of light, boom, faith, you got me, because I don't understand. I can't make sense of it. You see, faith certainly paid us a lot of benefits in the past as we were growing, learning, understanding. But now it almost seems like a shortcut because it gives us an excuse and an okay situation to demonize another. Let me tell you a quick story. My aunt, who I valued and worshipped almost like my mother, okay? She was an amazing person, my confirmation sponsor, my communion sponsor, okay? She was my godmother, gave me my first Bible, okay? Now you see, when I came out as being no longer of the faith, I wrote a letter explaining, citing everything, citing the different things I had issues with as a whole, not just, you know, Catholicism, but Christianity and everything else. Just a religion as a whole, and understanding its motivations, its purposes, its things.
Right.
And that changed their view of me. And they stopped associating with me. And then when I started taking care of my grandfather, who was dying of brain cancer in 2013, and helping my grandmother, who had suffered from dementia, I was there for him. I became more unhealthy as I was taken care of because they didn't care about me. I wanted to take care of my grandparents.
Because you felt in a way depressed about that.
But
normal.
But here's the thing: when my grandparents, my aunt finally got to the ability that she could help, it was like, okay, now I can take time off. I can get down there to help. She took over. But then the stories became that I'm only doing this because I want money. I want to steal from my grandmother, my grandparents. And then my grandmother needed to go to Jersey because here's the thing. She, who has a lot of religious posts and things like that, couldn't associate my actions with being a Donald Trump is unable to do good if you're on the left. It doesn't matter. See, I want to understand, aren't we all American? Aren't we all here to, and aren't we all, don't you need to eat and I need to eat, don't you need to protect your family and have a shelter, food, jobs, and be able to afford stuff? What, these ideals that we're holding, I like to call them luxury values. Values that you can do when you have nothing else left. But right now we have to worry about other things, and unfortunately...
I don't want to be rude. Just because our friends are waiting, but I want to leave you with this thought. You started off with your original thought that you first mentioned to me. What if I told you, I'm just going to leave you thinking about it, if my loved one was suffering, which I've had
Ma'am, my son was hit by a truck on June 16th, 2023.
I'm sorry,
but the difference with your example, though...
No, but you don't know what I'm about to say.
I understand you're telling me to stand there. That's great that you wouldn't.
But I have hope.
And that's wonderful that you have hope and prayers, but you see, the one thing that is a difference, okay? We keep talking about faith, okay? Faith is a gift. It can't be taught. It can't be given.
What is your faith?
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm telling you. You see, I'm about, this is going to be a mind blower for you, okay? Because your example of, be there, I have to have faith that the shot is going to work, okay?
No, I think I wasn't able to finish my example. Listen, I so appreciate you being honest with us, and I want to hear you, but our friends are waiting.
No, I understand, but if I was to accept you, you'd have all the time in the world. Take this. Faith is a gift you have. It can't be given. It can't be taught. But I assure you, the other catch to faith is this. If you have proof, you don't have faith. So your desire and need to share, desire to prove, desire to express, well, then you don't have faith. But ma'am, if I have faith that my wife is loyal and sincere to me, but then I check her emails and messages, and then I look at them and see, then I have proof that she is loyal and faithful. But faith is having belief beyond proof. And if you have proof, you discount it.
Would you be willing to me sharing the definition of faith from the Bible?
Ma'am, I've watched them change racism.
Have a great day, then. Have a great day. Have a great day. The answer's in the Bible, but that's okay.
But what Bible are you talking about? Are you talking the King James Version, or are you talking your version?
Have a great day.
Understood.
It was great to meet you.
It was.
Tell your wife, beautiful job with the garden.
She has done a fantastic job. She did it herself, which is even more amazing. How you doing there, sir? Fantastic. I'm glad to see the progress, though. That's wonderful. I'm not used to seeing